So it was weird. I still have to go again this year. All right, so as you know, sometimes our speeches, sometimes our speeches aren't always technical. Just because we're a technical group doesn't mean that we only have to speak about tech. A lot of times we speak about inspirational stories, politics, events, sometimes. Speaking of Vince, today he's going to be talking to us about a new addition to the Xamarin toolkit, which is something called Xamarin.Forms. And I'm excited to hear a whole bunch about it. Please help me welcome Vince.
All right, good morning, everybody. Oh, I get a presentation mode over on my screen. That's beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted to see. I know, it's great. So I'm over here now. I'm going to press F5. We're going to work there. That's special, yeah, exactly.
No, don't fight with it. Just start presentation mode.
Yeah, I think I can actually.
Because it's my home computer. It just.
What are you saying?
Scroll down button and press presentation mode.
Scroll down.
Yeah, with mouse and press with button. Yes, you need to press this one. This one.
Switch. No. Right to the right. Next one.
One more.
What?
There you go.
Yeah, one slide.
Luckily, over here, even though I'm uploading this to YouTube, I can.
Yeah.
So I will do that. So I'll just start giving my introduction whilst we figure this guy out. Alright, yeah. But anyway, so if you don't recall, I've been giving a few different presentations to various groups and co-camps and things like that in the general area. But about cross-platform mobile development, I've talked about Xamarin and Titanium and PhoneGap, responsive website, things like that. So this presentation is part of.
Yeah.
We'll figure this out. Right, so if you recall, I've been giving a lot of presentations on cross-platform development. I've talked about Xamarin, Titanium, PhoneGap, responsive websites, things like that. And this presentation is something that's going to be mixed into a lot of these. Every time I give a presentation about cross-platform development, I kind of take what I've been learning and presenting and kind of build on it. I'm tweaking it, adding to it, things like that. And especially whenever there's any sort of big updates. Recently, there was a big update to the Xamarin rally, and that one is something called Xamarin.Forms. It's a really cool piece, so I definitely wanted to talk about it. I'm certainly going to include it. Next month, I'll be giving a talk at both that conference and something called Midwest.js, and at both of them, I'll be talking about Titanium. At Midwest.js, I'll also be talking about PhoneGap. And this is definitely very important to the Titanium talk because there's been a lot of good reasons to go with the Titanium framework. And one of them is something that kind of overlaps with Xamarin.Forms. It's certainly going to include it, even though it's not actually the Xamarin. So today's agenda, we're going to go over a quick recap of Xamarin, of Titanium. We're going to go over Xamarin's old take on cross-platform UIs. We're going to go over their ridiculous 180 hypocritical win. And then we're going to actually get into talk about what Xamarin.Forms really is. So, Xamarin, if you don't recall, or if you've never heard, is a cross-platform mobile development framework. what you use for Xamarin. You don't have to mess around with Objective-C or Swift or whatever, maybe Java or something stupid like that. Which means you get to use all the cool C# like Lambdas, generics, like and all the other, a lot of your other previous development in .NET. And it compiles to native code. Sweet, awesome. So for Android, instruction language and just-in-time compiling, and for iOS, you get an ARM binary and ahead of time compiling. Titanium, on the other hand, you build your apps using JavaScript. Cool. But actually it's 100% real app, much like Xamarin. Pretty sweet. How do you do that? That's weird. And you get cross-platform UIs, hence the unicorn and lexicon and rainbow. This is awesome. Wow, this is the best of everything. Titanium Studio is free, and it doesn't suck like Xamarin Studio free version does. Totally unusable. It's like a, I would call it freeware. That's freeware. So Xamarin would talk about cross-platform UIs, and they would say, hey, we need separate UIs. The UI is so different between the different frameworks. And yes, an Android app is totally different from an iPhone app. Totally different from Windows Phone. So they have a point, right? I'm kind of scratching your head thinking, maybe they know what they're talking about. They talk about something called lowest common denominator when talking about cross-platform UIs. And the idea is that if you're going to have a user interface that is built for cross-platforms, then you're going to have to reach for the easiest stuff. You're going to have to cut out anything technical or anything platform-specific. You need the lowest common denominator package idea that is, in a lot of people's minds, a really bad thing. They also used to say you need separate device APIs. If you want to talk to camera, you have to say Android.camera or iPhone.camera. Well, they changed their mind on that and made something called Xamarin.mobile. They're like, never mind, you can just write camera, and then we'll talk to all these different kinds of cameras. This is a slide stolen from Miguel de Icaza's talk at Build just a few months ago. It says, this is the lowest common denominator thing. Write once, run anywhere approach. CSS, HTML, JavaScript, ActionScript, whatever. You put it in, I think I'm quoting, I can't remember for sure, what Miguel de Icaza called the poop box, and it comes out with really bad apps. Totally sucks. And he's basically knocking Titanium right here. Remember, he gave this presentation 3 months ago at Build. Whoops. Xamarin.Forms. Hey, we're going to have cross-platform UIs. Alex, look comes down there. It's cool. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. It's awesome. But hey, one thing to take away from that is there is now much less of a reason to use Titanium. As much as I like to say, hey, use the right tool for the right job, the pool of jobs for using Titanium shrunk a bunch with Xamarin.Forms. So here's a little snippet of Xamarin.Forms that in no way, shape, or form could you ever even hope to read at this distance in this size. But it's a very small amount of code. And it's building a page with titles and tabs and things like that. Just a tiny little bit. And then when you compile it to the different kinds of platforms, you get, look at this. That little bit amount of code came up with all of this for iPhone, Android, and Windows Phone. Pretty sweet. Now, Xamarin.Forms, this is straight from their website. I pulled in this for what's in the box. You get these different layouts out of the box. You can grab these and run them, right? And these are the different kind of layouts, things like that. I'm not going to go over them. I'm just pointing out you get a whole bunch of predefined. Couldn't resist. If you haven't seen 7, please rectify that horrible mistake. Alright, Xamarin.Forms controls. The things that you can use out of the box, it's not a giant amount of things, but it's enough to get you going in general. And it's very easy to use platform-specific UI stuff and integrate that. In conclusion, before Xamarin.Forms, Xamarin was already awesome. It was already the answer for a lot of cross-platform solutions. Titanium had a few interesting quirks that were pretty cool, and they had worked out quite a nice little niche as far as the cross-platform space is concerned. The best part of Titanium, in my opinion, was the cross-platform UI. You could write your user interface if you want, and they didn't have to be platform specific. Well, guess what? That's not on Xamarin. Xamarin now becomes even more awesome. And Miguel de Icaza is completely cool. That's all I got for you. Thank you.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting, the shift